Hey people, Infantry here, 3v3 Faction War. This is SDL Province and Orks versus Space Marines for the Blue Orky team. We have two Warbosses. First up is Centzontochtin and Daddy Waroth with the Blood Axes elite scheme. These guys walk through objects and bash you in the face with melee weapons. Good disruption and support, and are just perpetually pissed off. Look at that face. Rounding off this team, Fathom. There he goes with a Mekboy, a teleporting hero that fights in ranged combat, puts out some good damage, and has lots of Orky gadgets, giving him great versatility. Red team, the man, the myth, the legend, it's Noisy, long-time Dawn of War 2 player and multiple tournament winner, sometimes comes out of retirement for these faction wars, I think, rocking an Apothecary, support hero that fights in melee combat by default, begins with a heal and a passive health regeneration aura. Looks like the Imperial Fists elite scheme. Alongside, Lokyo, as a Techmarine, starts off in ranged combat, puts out some good damage, can also support his structures and repair. And Legionator, as a force commander, very good offense, fights in melee combat, can also tank, disrupt and support with buffs. On the eastern side, looks like we have double sluggers up here for Daddy Waroth and for Fathom, and double shooters for Centzontochtin, who's now fighting two players, needs to back off here. Can they back off without dropping a model? Maybe. Oh, they got very close to dropping one of those shooter boys, but he did get away. Now, Daddy Waroth, what are you going to do? You're going to 2v1 the east side or 2v2 the west side? I think the 2v2 makes sense. Orks are very strong early on, can usually push against Space Marines in a 3v3. Looks like that's what we're going to try and do, so Centzon needs to time this little comeback here for when Daddy Waroth arrives. Looks like Lokyo's gone out to meet them. Shotgun scouts in play. There's the blast. These sluggers very low, having to retreat, but the Warboss is in. Probably should be tying up the Tactical Marines. There he goes. And here come burner sluggers for Centzontochtin to rush forward. Where are Noisy's scouts? I don't see them. Let's select them. Oh, they're skulking around over there. Looks like Noisy just backed all the way off. Tactical Marines dropping a model for Lokyo. And the Tech Marine does get away. Looks like the scouts also dropped a model. A little bit sloppy there from Lokyo. Should have backed off a lot quicker, I think. Once he saw Daddy Waroth coming in, like shotgun blast and back away, because he knows Centzon is going to come back, right? Do we have any? Oh, we have Devastators already for Noisy. And they've gone for the advanced targeting, which gives them vengeance rounds. In 293, by the way, which is now out. Go and check it out at dawnofwar.info. I think these guys can now purchase the las cannon even if they have advanced targeting in tier 2. Which is handy. Kind of plays into the whole Space Marine versatility with war gear thing. On the east side, a whole bunch of Dakar and some looters up for Fathom. The Mekboy can actually do really good things in helping his sluggers get into melee early on. Not only can he heal them with Apothecary, which we don't see here yet, but he can also just teleport in and tie up the Tactical Marines, for example, so they can approach a lot easier. Purification Vials for Noisy's Apothecary. He's got a bunch of XP already somehow. There's the Vengeance rounds. This Warboss is quite low for Centzon. Does have the angry bits. Shooter boys here down to 2 models. Need to be careful, yeah. They have their big shooters up. They get 2 of them, so the last 2 automatically have them. And looters here for Centzon. We always see some Assault Marines. Got some Devastators for Lokyo. Assault Marines getting a small cost decrease in 293. As I said, head over to the forums to read all the notes and stuff. There's lots of them. And it'll probably have to get hot fixes and stuff soon. I'm sure with that many changes, there's going to be a few issues in there. Space Marines, I think, can push through here. You have Sniper Scouts from Noisy, probably 2 of them. Here's the second Scouts. Typically, you wouldn't see just a single Sniper Scout in a 3v3. Warboss has got close to some Devastators. Now taking a bunch of Boltifiers quite low. Gonna go down, and does go down. This is Daddy Waroth with the support, and we have Storm Boys in play. Power melee jump squad that can rip up Tactical Marines pretty damn well. And Devastators, of course. So those guys are under threat. Maybe Noisy can bait a really good Vials on them. Dakar versus Boltifier. These guys... Don't think he needed to jump there, fellas. I think he would have done alright just to run in there. We see the boss pole for Daddy Waroth. This orange glowing buff around their feet is the boss pole. doing its thing. Got pretty decent range, as you can see. Okay, they can jump again, but do they want to? Oh, they're getting very close to death. They might not get away. Apothecary's attack wasn't enough, and maybe that stomp from the Warboss, that's his starting ability, they might have saved him there. Tactical Marines caught by sluggers. Noisy wasn't paying attention. They're going to drop another model, I think, surely. Yes, they get away with one. It's a good push from the Orks. Can take back the west side. Looks like the Purification Vials did hit at least something. Storm Boys need to reinforce. As usual, got down to a single model, of course. Legionator. Everyone's got Devastators. Everyone with the Devastators. And it's shotgun scouts, actually, for Noisy. So it's a single sniper and a single shotgun. Was expecting the double sniper. Are you going to push through the mid, Orky dudes? Nope, looks like just capping that central wreck point. No attempt to go after that natural VP. Right now, we do have the big shooter for the Mekboy. Double tax into Debs, though. And look at this. Chainsword and Storm Shield for the Force Commander. We'll do a lot of work for you. Especially against those looters, of course. Warboss of Centzontochtin charging on through. The Now I'm Angry does give him some health regen. Helps him stay in combat when he charges in. Sluggers there have to retreat. More sluggers coming in. Shotgun blast must have been used. Those guys are just backing away. Purification Vials thrown in. Apothecary is already level 2. And these days, of course, his heal gets better every level, not every other level. Really good hit back from the Space Marines, but here comes Storm Boys. Big old retreat from Noisy, but looks like they do not want to go in against those tacks. They're just taking so much damage. Really need to try and push alongside your Storm Boys. They're not like Assault Marines, where you could jump them into a group of melee stuff, a group of range stuff rather, have it all disrupted, and have them stand there hitting stuff while they soak up damage. They will drop a lot quicker. Probably better to charge in the Warboss first, wait for that Daddy Waroth, and then jump in your Storm Boys if you can. Did drop their shooters in that push. It's a costly push. That was just the time that Orks needed to make some headway. I think maybe get onto the power. They do go tier 2 first-ish. Although Lokyo and Legionator already going as well. Mekboy's taking a lot of shots. Oh, barely gets away with the teleport. Infiltrated looters, that's one of their tricks. The other trick is to just shoot lots of bullets very fast. Are these guys going to push through the mid or maybe go for the power here? Kind of hanging out on this contested power, which is not often seen. Orks here also hanging out. Fathom doesn't want to push alone. Shotgun scouts with the sergeant now. I'm not sure how much energy they need to do both. The shotgun blast and the grenade. It might be that they're 60 each. So they'll need level 3. I don't see the Stormboy knob queued up for those Storm Boys there. In fact, he's already tier 2 Daddy Waroth. It's a lot of damage. They're not shutting down the Devastators well enough. Gets the Storm Boys in. That should get rid of them. Might kill him, in fact. Gets a knockdown. And they're chopping him up good. Can they finish him off? Not quite. So close. Sluggers with their knob leader. Shut down by the suppression. And there's the Vengeance rounds now. Way more damage on Vengeance rounds, but it doesn't do suppression. Meanwhile, Orks did take the west side. Or rather, they are taking the west side. Looters might want to reface a little bit to cover the approach from the mid. Pushing through here is Fathom. Gonna get the decap. Maybe even onto the power with burners. And Shooter Boys are capping mid. Been a pretty even back and forth. I think the Space Marines have edged it with the models they've killed. Powerful sweep. Helps wipe out those sluggers. Nicely done. Those were Centzontochtins. Apothecary looking for that throw of the vials. Levels up to 3. Might be able to get it on these Shooter Boys here, or go for the Looters maybe. Looters got a regular old frag grenade. He's keeping the vials. Maybe it's on cooldown. Here's a Death Dread from Centzontochtin. Already has burners and bits. So we do have Vengeance rounds, Devastators in play. but they used it a little bit late to really threaten the Death Dread there, and it's a big old retreat from Noisy. Here's Stormboys now with their Knob Leader. He's got a heavy melee weapon, and he also stuns you when he lands, which really adds to their utility. Just jumping into a whole bunch of stuff and not affecting it in any way isn't super great. Gonna burn down these gens, or maybe steal it. Looks like they want to steal it. They're going for the node first. 412 to 382. Yep, the sluggers are going to try and steal it. Or they might eat a grenade here, though. There it is. Try to dodge it. Hit a couple of them. Killed. Oh, wow. Got 4 kills off that. Here come the scouts of Noisy now. Oh, they are burning it down. They're burning and decapping. It would have been hard to keep. Here's Noisy's Dreadnought on the field. Tier 3 for Lokyo and Legionator. Who needs Tier 2 units? They haven't had their power hit at all here. It is burned down over here, though. Scouts going through the mid for Legionator to get the decap. Now, how do they respond to this Dreadnought? Whoa. A Venerable Dreadnought from Lokyo. That's a pretty quick Venerable Dreadnought, I think. I don't have a timer running or anything, but that feels like 12 minutes or something, if that. Maybe like a 10-minute Venerable. So this is a lot of vehicle armor to deal with all of a sudden. And Fathom's got some Stormboys of his own. Legionator might switch to the Thunderhammer then. But, I mean, I guess these guys can get the Beamy. There's nothing much else. So we've got a Power Claw Warboss, but he doesn't really want to fight a Dreadnought in melee. Really. They're both using their Flamers to burn down some gens. We've got Anointed Power Axe Apothecary with combat stims now for Noisy. Making short work of the power. Death Dread is perilously close to stuff here. Any sign of missile launchers or anything? Not yet. I don't know if they know. They might not even know that there's a Venerable Dreadnought around. They definitely know that this guy's around, though. And they should be responding to it. Centzon getting some more sluggers. Where are the tank busters? I guess Daddy Waroth needs a bunch more requisition for that. That was the Emperor's Fist. Hard Boys and use your choppers on the Storm Boys is still not a good fight for them. Not a good fight at all. They're going to get ripped up by a Venerable. That's its job. Kill Storm Boys, basically. Do another powerful sweep, and double sluggers have to flee because, you know, scary Venerable Dreadnought again. Already got half an XP bar, so is this thing. Don't see any tank buses. It's because Daddy Waroth is having to reinforce Storm Boys over and over and get the Knob Leader again. They need anti-vehicle now, even if it means not reinforcing these guys, I think. Do you guys have a beamy? No beamy for these fellas. Tank busters on the way for Fathom. And he is doing a good job there, Fathom. They're bashing his power, they're keeping it locked down. Well, here comes a Venerable, which makes things flee. Looters here, still with their death gun. Having to get their natural back as a 2v1 for the Orks on the VPs. Power claws all around, eh? And spiky armor for Daddy Waroth. Can they get onto the VP? These guys aren't actually covering it, so maybe they can. Yeah, I think they can. Where's the rest of Noisy's stuff? Oh, the Dreadnought's over here as well. They be bashing the power. These Dreadnoughts are very far up, but can anything threaten them? There's the tank busters. Don't shoot the Apothecary, fellas. There's the Dreadnought. There's the Vials. The decent throw. Storm Boys jumping into the back lines towards the scouts. Tank busters need to keep moving. This is beamy looters in a very strange position. What are they up to? Fathom has forgotten about these guys. Yeah, they got themselves behind the Dreadnought there. The mech himself has a beamy death gun now. It's like Fathom is the only one interested in actually getting some anti-vehicle on the field. They might deal with this Dreadnought, and they do. It was way too far forward there. Once it saw the tank busters, I think it really should have backed away. Got to be pretty careful with your melee walkers in the 3v3. Did some good work though. Still got the Venerable to deal with. We have a beaming mech. I can't select the looters, so are they in a garrison or something maybe? I don't know where they are. Oh, they're there. No. They're here. I can't select them for some reason. Mekboy's down. Meanwhile, scouts are having a look at the power, were they? Warboss scared them off. He's level 2. Orks still have this side. 336 to 331. It's very, very even. And we do see tier 3 for Centzon. Orks had to hang on against the double dreadnoughts, and they have. And they've pushed this Venerable back a bit. It's still really far forward, though. Which is risky. Mech needs a revive pretty badly. Force Commander's kind of hanging around there. Shooter Boy is getting their VP back. Is the Dreadnought going to go after the War Truck? It is. Taking some hits though. Not sure if this guy's close enough. Yeah, this guy needs to get forward, these looters. But the Force Commanders found them, and so have some Stern Guard veterans with their Hellfire rounds loaded in. Stormboy jump. It's a good thing to jump. A whole bunch of Marines blobbed up. Got them off the VP, that's for sure. We might see a nasty flank though against Centzontochtin. The Venerable is here getting some repairs. Has still kept that Death Gun, which is helping against Noisy's army now. With no vehicles in it. Here comes a Land Raider Redeemer though for Lokyo, and tier 3 for Noisy. Tier 3 also for Legionator. Some dead sluggers there. Taken out by the axe. Level 6 Apothecary, you guys. It's kicking some ass. Yep, here's the flank outwards by Lokyo. They've populated that contested power, and we've got some Terminators for Legionator. Orks need to get their heavy hitting tier 3 stuff going, or they're going to start getting overwhelmed. Surprised we didn't see Assault Terminators though. You know, knobs and stuff. Because even Stormboys, you know, fully reinforced, will do a lot of damage to regular old Terminators. Looters couldn't quite set up. And Tank Busters run too. Those Storm Bolters are pretty scary. I think around 40 DPS each, which is a lot of piercing damage per model. Predator Tank for Noisy. Land Raider Redeemer almost out for Lokyo now. No grenade on retreat. Those guys don't have one. Space Marines are looking quite solid here. Orks might need to triple the west side. Especially if this Land Raider goes there, which I assume it will. A Tank Buster Barrage. Just one Tank Buster Barrage will do a lot of damage to a Land Raider. Because it's so big. They can all hit it. Kicking off. Double Sluggers in there. So's the Warboss. We have the Cyclone Missile Launcher for the Terminators. These Sluggers can all reinforce, of course, off the War Truck. Terminators having to teleport away. Here comes some suppression though. Uh-oh. Cyclone Missile Launcher. Look how much damage it does. Takes out the War Truck. Looks like they are going to get in onto the Devastators. I think one of the Sluggers wiped out, yeah. Daddy Waroth has a single Slugger by squad, and that is it. And that engagement looks so good at the start. Put a lot of damage on the Terminators. All of a sudden they turn around, cyclone your stuff, and the Devastators take out your Sluggers. They're still chasing these Terminators here. Can the Warboss get attacks though? He can. He gets them down. Use your choppers on the Sluggers. Terminators whacked out. It's not bad. But Daddy Waroth needs to respond, and they are not in tier 3. Not in tier 3. Meanwhile, this Venerable is just hanging out. Level 3 with the Dark Age of Technology up to 2417 hit points, you guys. We have a Land Raider Redeemer coming through the mid. Looted Tank can get some shots on. Needs to stay away from that multi-melter though. That's it. Keep your distance. They still have the looters. They still have the mech. They have a lot of anti-vehicle. Mekboy's over here though. 223 to 313. Daddy Waroth needs to do something. You need to go tier 3 or start pumping out tier 2 units, buddy. Here comes some Tank Busters. Tank is taking shots. Might take another. Nope, it's just out of range now. We have a Knob Squad from Centzontochtin. We've seen what these guys can do if the enemy team is unprepared. There's the Vials. Getting smacked around though. Might go down here, the Apothecary. Heals himself. That was a massive heal. And does get away. he's actually retreating back to the Land Raid, which is why he's going that way. Venerable Dreadnought still having some fun. Lots of damage onto the Land Raider though. Power Claw getting a big swing in. Force Commander's got in and tied up the mech. Level 7 Force Commander has done well. Really has done well. 160 to 313. Orks under huge amounts of pressure here. They need a miracle. They need a Nob Squad to like wipe several things out. And the Predator tank lived. Dragonfire rounds from the Stern Guard. Anti-cover rounds. Oh, there's a concede. Orks have conceded. They had a Land Raider and a Venerable, and Noisy's leveled up army to get through too. Was just too much. Daddy Waroth with that ill-fated push on the east side. Started off so well, but then the war truck got blown up and Devastators ripped through the sluggers. And yeah, there's your game. Level 3 Warboss for Centzontochtin. Level 4 for Waroth. Did have that spiky armor. Level 2 mech. Level 6 Apothecary. Went in swinging. And a level 7 Techmarine. I read Mastercrafted Bolter. And did some great work with the powerful sweep a couple of times. And of course that level 7 Force Commander with his shield and his Sacred Standard. Land Raider and Venerable all the way up here. Did not care. Also had a missile launcher turret, I guess, to fight the looted tank, which had to back all the way off here. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Big thanks to the players for taking part. And of course, Impregnable for organising such things. I'll see you next time.